The first time Daniel thought about leaving Africa, it wasn't because he wanted luxury. It was because of hunger. Not the kind that makes your stomach rumble for a few hours, but the kind that makes your bones feel hollow. The kind that makes you watch your elder brother pretend he isn't hungry, so you can eat. Daniel and his brother, Samuel, grew up in a small village where survival was a daily negotiation. Their parents had died early. No inheritance. No land worth mentioning. No safety net. Just each other. Samuel, the elder brother, had always been the protector. He dropped out of school so Daniel could continue. He carried bricks, worked farms, did anything to keep them alive. And Daniel never forgot that. But survival wasn't living. And Daniel wanted more, not just for himself, for both of them. One night, sitting under a flickering lantern, Daniel spoke. "Brother, I want to travel." Samuel looked up slowly. "To where?" "America." Silence filled the room. Even the insects outside seemed to pause. Samuel laughed at first, not because it was funny, but because it sounded impossible. "You," he said. "America? With what money?" Daniel didn't answer immediately. He just looked at his brother with a fire Samuel hadn't seen before. "I'll find a way." And he did, but not easily. Daniel worked like a man running out of time. He carried cement, sold items in traffic, worked overnight security. He saved every coin, sometimes skipping meals, sometimes sleeping outside. But every time he felt like giving up, he remembered Samuel, the brother who sacrificed everything. 2 years later, Daniel stood at the airport, holding a small bag and a dream too big for his circumstances. Samuel hugged him tightly. "You must not forget me," Samuel said. Daniel smiled. "Never. Everything I do is for us." That was the last time Samuel saw him, as a poor man. America was not what Daniel expected. It was harder, colder, lonelier. No one cared about his struggles. No one knew his story. He was just another immigrant trying to survive. He slept on floors, worked multiple jobs, was cheated, mocked, ignored. But Daniel endured because he had a purpose. And slowly, things changed. He got better jobs, learned new skills, saved money. And then he sent his first transfer home. Samuel couldn't believe it. The amount was more money than he had ever held in his life. He cried, not because of the money, but because his younger brother had kept his promise. "Use it." Daniel set up a phone. "Start something. Change our lives." Samuel nodded, even though Daniel couldn't see him. "I will. I promise." At first, he did. He started small. A shop, some trading. And for the first time, Samuel felt power, control, respect. More money came. Daniel kept sending, month after month, year after year. Then one day, Samuel called with an idea. "Daniel, listen," he said. "This money we can do more." Daniel listened. "We should buy land, build properties, something big." Daniel hesitated. It was a lot of money, everything he had worked for, but it was his brother speaking, the man he trusted with his life. "Do it," Daniel said. "I trust you." And that was the moment everything changed. Samuel began acquiring properties, land, buildings, businesses. Everything was booming. From the outside, it looked like a success story. Two brothers rising from nothing. But there was something Daniel didn't know. Something buried beneath trust. Every property, every document, every registration was in Samuel's name. At first, it wasn't intentional. Or at least, that's what Samuel told himself. "It's easier this way," he thought. "I'll transfer everything later." But power changes people. Slowly, quietly, Samuel started living differently. Better clothes, better house, better friends. People respected him now, feared him even. And somewhere along the way, he stopped seeing the money as their money. It became his. 5 years passed. Daniel had finally made enough, saved enough, suffered enough. It was time to go home. He didn't tell Samuel. He wanted it to be a surprise. The plane landed. The air felt familiar, heavy but warm. Home. As Daniel approached the village, he couldn't believe his eyes. Where there was once nothing, now stood buildings, modern houses, shops, land stretching wide. "Wow," he whispered. "We really did it." He smiled, proud, excited, ready to embrace his brother. But something fell off. When he got closer, people looked at him strangely, whispering, watching. He ignored it until he reached the biggest house. Samuel's house. Daniel knocked. The door opened slowly. Samuel stood there, well-dressed, healthy, different. For a moment, they just stared at each other. Then Samuel smiled, but it didn't reach his eyes. "Daniel, brother," Daniel said, stepping forward. They hugged, but it felt cold. Inside the house, everything screamed wealth, luxury, comfort. Daniel sat down, trying to process everything. "So," he said, "we did well." Samuel nodded. "Yes, we did." Daniel leaned forward. "I want to see the documents." Samuel froze. "Documents?" "Yes, the properties, our investments." A pause. "Too long." "They are safe," Samuel said. "I'll show you later." Daniel's smile faded slightly. "Why not now?" Samuel stood up. "I said later." And just like that, the tension entered the room. That night, Daniel couldn't sleep. Something wasn't right. The next morning, he decided to find out the truth. He went to the local registry office, asked questions, showed his identity, and then he saw it. Every property, every building, every asset, owned by one name. Samuel, only Samuel. Daniel felt the world tilt. "No," he whispered. "This must be a mistake." But it wasn't. 5 years of sweat, pain, sacrifice, gone. Not stolen by a stranger, but by his own brother. Daniel walked back slowly, each step heavier than the last. When he entered the house, Samuel was waiting. "I know where you went," he said. Silence. "Why?" Daniel asked. Just one word, but it carried everything. Samuel looked away. "I built this." Daniel laughed. A broken laugh. "We built this," he said. Samuel shook his head. "No, you sent money. I did the work." That was the moment the bond shattered. "You stole from me," Daniel said quietly. Samuel's eyes hardened. "Be careful what you call it." "What should I call it?" Daniel shouted. "Betrayal? Greed? Wickedness?" Samuel stepped closer, lowering his voice. "You have nothing here." Daniel froze. "You think people will believe you?" Samuel continued. "I am the one they know." The truth hit harder than betrayal. Daniel was alone. But Samuel wasn't done, because fear had entered his heart. Fear that Daniel might fight back, expose him, take everything away. And fear makes people dangerous. That same night, Samuel made a call, a quiet one, to a man people didn't speak about openly. A man known for dark things. A fetish priest. "Handle it," Samuel said. The voice on the other end laughed softly. "It will be done." Daniel didn't know, but death had been assigned to him. The first sign came in his dreams. Dark shadows, whispers, cold breath. Then came the sickness. Sudden, unexplainable. Daniel grew weak. People said it was spiritual. And deep down, he knew, "This is not ordinary," he whispered. He confronted Samuel one last time. "If anything happens to me," Daniel said, staring into his eyes, "truth will still come out." Samuel said nothing, but his silence confirmed everything. Daniel left the house that day, weak, but determined. He wasn't to die quietly. He sought help, not from the law, but from someone older, someone who understood things beyond the physical. An old man in a distant village. The old man listened, closed his eyes, then said something that changed everything. The one who digs a grave often falls into it. Daniel didn't understand, but he would soon, because karma had already begun. That same night, Samuel couldn't sleep. He heard voices, strange noises. Then he saw something, standing in the corner of his room, watching him. The same darkness he sent had returned, stronger, hungrier. Samuel screamed, but no one came. The next morning, he was found shaking, terrified, and slowly he began to lose everything. His mind, his peace, his control. While Daniel started to recover, the old man had reversed something, and now the balance was shifting. But here's where it gets even more disturbing, because just as Samuel began to break, a letter arrived. No name, no address, just one sentence inside. You were never the only one watching. Daniel held the letter, confused, because this was bigger than them, much bigger, and somewhere, someone else knew everything. Someone who had been silent until now. So here's the question. If you were Daniel, what would you do next? Fight for justice? Walk away? Or expose everything no matter the cost? Comment below.